from the 2010s that had us wearing silly bands on our wrists, feathers in our hair, listening to One Direction or 5 Seconds of Summer while you played Flappy Bird on your iPhone 5. But what I remember most from the 2010s is the YA dystopian books and movie adaptations that were taking over the media. You know, I was reading Divergent, Maze Runner, Hunger Games, but there are so many books I never read because I just wasn't a big reader back then. And now, as a 21-year-old, I want to know what 12-year-old Natalie missed out on. So we are going back to the 2010s era and reading some of the most popular books that have kind of stayed relevant now as well, but were really popular back then. And I could not be more excited. I definitely need to listen to Five Sauce this week. I haven't listened to them in so long, but back to books, not 5 Seconds of Summer. Even though I do have a soft spot in my heart for them. I've already started on the selection. I am a little under 100 pages in, and this book is like The Bachelorette mixed with a dystopian fantasy setting. I'm not gonna lie, I know it's a little cringy, but I am eating it up right now. She just started meeting some of the other contestants, and they're just now getting to the castle, and y'all, I feel like this is gonna be a wild little series, and I cannot wait to get through the rest of this book because I'm just so excited. What I love about these books and the place I am with reading now is they are so predictable, even if I haven't read them before, that it's almost a comfort. Cut to me being totally mind blown by a plot twist that I didn't see coming right after saying this, but I like the vibes. It's taking me back to that 2010s era. Something about the books then. There was a special way they wrote them, I swear. With all that being said, this is the first book we're reading. I have a couple others I want to read in this video that I'm so excited to read for the first time. Let's get some reading done. It's time to talk. And let me tell you, we have a lot to talk about. So, you just came from a nice little montage. What you don't know is I had other clips reacting to the selection and commentary on that, except I messed up on recording them and they were recorded with no audio. So, I already finished the book. It's literally like a week later now. But I finished this book. I actually really enjoyed it. I would have eaten this book up as a 12-year-old kid. Oh my gosh. If you are younger and you're just looking for a solid YA book, or if you're older and looking for a solid YA book to kind of remind you of what you used to read in your childhood, this is a good one. This is a really good one. I so enjoyed it. To give you a little bit of a premise for this book, you're following our main character, America, in here as she is going through the process of the selection. So the selection happens whenever a prince comes of marrying age, and this is how this dystopian America chooses who will be, this is so bizarre, chooses who will be the next princess slash queen. Is a whole Bachelor style setup.
The drama continues.
Every female in the kingdom in between the ages of 16 to 20 puts in their name to be selected as one of the 35 women to compete for the crown, love, whatever they actually are there to compete for, because not all of them are there for love. So America's mom really wants her to put her name into this lottery because even if she doesn't become queen, her family is going to be rich. And there's a 8-tier class system here, and of course, number 1, they're getting the most money, all the good stuff, and then all the way down at 8, they're getting like nothing. That's the homeless of their world. And America's family is sitting right at a 5. They're singers, artists, stuff like that. So a few of them can buy their way up to be more popular, but most of them are slightly impoverished. And so her mom really wants her to do this because if she makes it in alone, they will get quite a bit of money coming straight to them. And there should be no reason for America not to want to do this. She's single, right? No, she's not. She has a little boyfriend who is a 6 class, and if they were ever to marry, she would have to downgrade her class to a 6, which is even more impoverished than she already is. So they've been meeting up at secret after curfew in the kingdom of Ilia. I think that's the name of this kingdom, which I think is the same name as the kingdom in Powerless, which is really confusing in my head. Anyways, they've been dating for like 2 years and they're absolutely in love. So stuff happens with them. Her mom convinces her to put her name into the lottery. And of course she is selected, because what would this book be if she wasn't? She gets to go to the castle and be one of the bachelorettes. It's so bizarre, but so much fun. And you kind of just get to follow her journey as she's going through this selection process, as she doesn't really want to be there. She's not looking for love. She's not looking for the crown. The only reason she's trying to stay there is for the money that she would get for her family. So you just get to follow all the adventures she goes through here. There's some very interesting stuff happening in the background of this book, like in the outside world from the castle, but of course we're in her point of view, so we're not seeing a lot of that right now, but I am very intrigued by that. And honestly, this is just a fun, cheesy, easy book to read, and I loved it. I ended up rating it at 3.5 because it's just above a 3-star. It's just got that extra little bit of spice on it, and I really had a fun time, and I will be reading the rest of the series, no doubt. With all that being said, that's all for the selection. I'm sorry I don't know how to film and don't have other clips to show y'all of my then reactions, but this is the best I can do. Don't know what came over me. Moving on to our next book that we're doing in this video, which is... Scythe, which is Scythe. This is a sci-fi dystopian world, and this is everything I love in a book. Ugh. So where we're checking in with me, they just up the stakes by a bunch, which are the stakes I thought we were going to have earlier in this book, but I'm so glad they're here now. It was that perfect little plot twist. I kind of gave up on there being some serious stakes, but it brought them. It brought the serious stakes, and I'm loving it. Rewind to what this book is about. Like I said, it's a dystopian sci-fi world. This is a world where humans have found a way to live forever. But reproducing and stuff like that, they're not really limiting it. So people still need to die, but they won't die of natural causes. They can literally bring people back to life. So the Scythes, there's a group of people that are part of the Scythedom, I think is what they call themselves. But they are basically the reapers of this world. They decide who goes. They all have different ways that they decide on doing it, but this is how they have population controls. We have Citra and Rowan, who we're introduced to here early on in the book, and both of them have an encounter with a Scythe. Turns out this Scythe needed somebody to be his apprentice. Normally, they would only choose one, but he decides to choose the both of them to compete for being a Scythe, which is something nobody really wants to do, but that's exactly what they're looking for in people who are to be Scythes. They don't want somebody who's just going to be taking lives willy-nilly. What a sentence. Taking lives willy-nilly. But they want somebody who will feel the gravity of the situation and everything like that. And they go to compete because if they get to be a Scythe, then their family also gets immunity from ever being gleaned, is what they call it in this book. Instead of killing, they call it gleaning. So their family would be completely immune from being gleaned, which is a huge thing. And the only way Scythes can be gleaned is if they decide to glean themselves in the end. Glean. Such a fun word. So we get to follow them as they're learning to be Scythes, taker of lives, gleaners. Is that a word? Don't know. But we're following them in just this really interesting dystopian world. It has low-key, like, YA Red Rising vibes in a way. I don't even know if that's right though. The guy's called the Reaper in all of the Red Rising, and this just, I don't have an explanation for you. They're also able to reset their age and appearance age once they turn the corner, they say, aka get a little older than they want to be, so they can set all the way back down to 21, I believe, is the youngest age. So they could just be as fresh as me. I'm not fresh today. I actually have a migraine that I'm just now getting over, and that's why I'm just now talking to the camera. But there's a lot more story to be told in here. We're not even halfway done yet. I'm gonna go read some more of that book. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan. This lighting is trash. but this book has ramped up the intensity so much in the last little bit. Right when I checked in, they had introduced that first little plot twist, and I thought what was going to happen way later in the book, but it ended up happening like 20 pages later. So we've taken a whole different kind of turn in this book, and I'm really liking it. The stakes are way higher. It's a little darker than I was expecting this book to be, but I'm really enjoying it. It's still like YA dark book, you know? This is a very plot twisty book, and I'm really liking it. The selection was very predictable, so I was expecting this one to also be kind of like this, but this is good stuff right here. This is really good stuff. Now, I would have really liked the selection, but this would have been an unhealthy obsession, most likely. It's so good. I only have about 80 pages left? Yeah, I only have about 80 pages left in here, so we should be finishing this up in the next couple hours. The foreshadowing in this book has been so good. This book also has great humor in the moments where it's trying to be funny, and it has some really great lines in here as well. A little more thought-provoking than some YA books, which I don't even know if that's really the right thing to say, because there's so many great books that fall into the YA category, and I really do love so many of them. But anyways, I'm gonna get to finishing this, and we'll see how this ends. I'm excited. I think I kinda know how it's gonna end, but not really. I keep guessing one plot twist, but then there's like 2 more that come after it. I love it. Hi, if you're wondering if it's a new day because I'm in a new shirt, no, I was just filming TikToks and I kept changing shirts to make it look like I didn't film them all in one day. And anyways, we finished this book, and oh my gosh! I think I missed the hype train on this series, so I won't say that y'all weren't hyping it up enough. If it didn't get a lot of hype in its heyday, it should have. Because, woo, the ending, the plot twists were so good. There was plot twist on plot twist on plot twist. I saw a few of them coming and I thought I was so smart, but then I was actually still dumb because those were the red herrings. This book, y'all, oh my good gracious golly good, ooh. What in the 7-0 just came over me? This is such a good dystopian young adult book. I would have been obsessed. Like, this would have been right behind Hunger Games if I would have read it at the time. As of now, it's still below a few other books for me, but I really enjoyed it. I loved it so much. I'm so excited to read the next book in this series and see where they go from there, because the character development that they went through in this book is so interesting. They've become these super great fighters throughout this book, and I just love fight scenes in books, and the taste that we're getting of fight scenes that he can make are so good. The corruption that you see in this, it's not a religion, but the Scythedom, the corruption that you see that is slowly infiltrating it is so interesting to watch. I loved every second of this and would highly recommend this book. This is such a good read, but I think I'm gonna end up giving this one 4 stars. It feels like a 4 stars. It's just not a 5-star book, but it is very good, and I very much enjoyed it. 4.5. It's a 4.5. Never mind. Sorry, it had to be a little higher than the selection. 4.5. It's just, I had so much fun with the characters in here. I really got attached to them. There was a really beautiful scene at the end. Oh my gosh, I highlighted like almost a whole page worth of stuff at the end here. It was so good. You know a book is good when there's the line, "I am what you made me." Ooh. Yes. I'll eat that up every time. Every time. Just. I need to go back and read more 2010s books because, oh my gosh, they're just so good. That's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna read one more 2010s book in this video, and this one I feel like I've heard so much about. This has also been a TV show, so it's a very popular little book series. It's the Mortal Instrument, City and Bone. This is the first book in the series, I think. I mean, just look at the back of this book. This is so 2010s. I love it. I love it. This is the first book. It would be such a me thing to jump into the middle of a series, but we're gonna start on this. I think this has vampires in it. I don't know. We're going from dystopian to sci-fi to modern fantasy? Who knows? We're gonna find out. Yeah, I'm not reading this. Sorry, I was blunt. I got 5 pages in. It reads like a not great Wattpad fan fiction, and I'm just not gonna waste my time on it. There's so many books I want to read in this world. I don't feel like wasting more than the 10 minutes I just did on this book. Don't know what happens in here, and I just don't care. So overall, this book this book was not successful. Sorry. Gosh, it was so bad. I cannot with stuff like that. Anyways, oh, see, there's like good fun cringe, and then there's whatever this was. I don't know what it was, and but these two were such fun finds. I ordered the other 2 of this one today because I just want to finish out the series. It's so quick, so easy, so fun to read. I already have the 2nd book of this one, so I will be starting that soon. And they're just solid 2010s books. And then there's this one. Look, I already know I'm putting myself for reading Twilight at the end of August, and I'm not putting myself for reading more books than I have to before then, okay? I had fun with these, but I was gonna have no fun with that. I know, we all thought we were gonna get more reading, but it's not happening. I'm so sorry. I do want to do another one of these videos, maybe with 2000 books, more 2010s books. Y'all leave your recommendations in the comments below. I would love to see them, love to get to some of them, and we may even revisit some of the classics like Maze Runner, Divergent, all that good stuff. All that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe, all those fun YouTube things, and I will see y'all in the next video.